So let us begin and explore how advanced meditations of Ayam work, or what I like to call the ontology of advanced meditations. The practice of meditation is both an art and a science. The design of meditations is actually a scientific process that includes spiritual science, neuroscience, and understanding of cognitive and behavioral psychology. In the Ayam practice, essentially there are 4 phases of practice. First phase is preparation, which is essentially we are preparing the person or ourselves who is going to meditate to a state that is more conducive to meditation. Then in the second phase is about flowing the energy alchemy that triggers a response from within our whole being, our emotional self, our mental self, our energetic self, about the outcome that we want from the meditation. The third part is of integration of that energy through creative visualizations and affirmation. And finally, the closing part is when you bring the practice together and you gently ease yourself out into the external world. Now, I will take few moments to explain to you the purpose and the techniques involved in each part of this process. So, during the preparation, it is very important to know most of the time in our ordinary life, we live in a sympathetic dominant state. Sympathetic dominant state means we are in a fight, flight, or freeze response. That means we are continuously responding to the stimulus from the environment. Furthermore, we are also responding to thoughts in our mind which are coming in, thinking about what we could have said, would have said, should have said. So it's very rarely it happens that we are in a state of pure vessel of present moment awareness. That means we are rarely 100% there in that moment without thinking about the past or the future. So during the preparatory stage, we undertake process of breathing exercises. So for example, you will hear me say, gently bring your attention to your breath. Deeply inhale through your nose and gently exhale through your mouth and relax. Essentially, with this simple initiation practice, we are bringing the attention, all sense organs, from being checked into the visual, auditory stimulus of outside environment into an internal biorhythm, following the breath within your whole being. Now, as you take longer inhales and gentle exhales, slowly your body becomes parasympathetic nervous system dominant. Parasympathetic nervous system means you are in the rest and digest state. That means you are expressing to your body that you are safe. There is no threat. What that does is you now allow your guard to drop. This state is much more conducive to going into a deep meditative practice. In addition to the work of breath, we also do body awareness, which is a somatic reset. So in some of our practices, you will issue instructions like gently bring your attention to the muscles of your forehead. Notice if there's any tension. Relax and let go. By this, we are bringing the capture of our attention into specific fascial region and allowing it to rest and relax. This technique is the technique of somatic reset, which means with intention, we are guiding our peripheral nervous system and all the stored emotions and memories physically embodied within the body to let go so we can come back to our baseline. So the purpose of the preparatory stage essentially is to develop inner calm, stillness, centeredness. Allow your sensory input to be regulated and the attention to go to your breath. So literally like emptying yourself of all the toxins from the external environment. And we use both body and breath awareness. Now we move on to the next stage of energy alchemy. During the stage of energy alchemy, we used various techniques to achieve different outcomes. For example, when we want to nurture love and compassion is a quality of our heart chakra or anahata. So many times you will experience a saying, gently bring your attention to a point of light at the center of your chest where you feel love, and the top of your head, where is your crown energy center. Gently bring that attention as you deeply inhale through your nose and gently exhale through your mouth and relax. Now what we are doing is we are using breath as a guide of our consciousness. And as we, along with the breath, bring our attention to different energy center, this activates them. What does that mean? That means they begin to work and they become more energized. And the quality that these energy centers represent becomes available to us in our energy archetype. So for example, when we activate the heart, there is more discernment, there is more goodwill, there is more generosity, there is more love and compassion. When we activate the crown, there is more alignment, there is a greater sense of balance, there is a greater sense of inner strength of meaning and purpose. When we activate the throat, there's greater sense of mental clarity, there is a greater sense of focus and concentration, less distraction. So science of energy is a real science, and I have written about it extensively in the Ayam book. You are very welcome to go through the book and understand which energy centers map to which specific qualities that we are nurturing. By the way, the system of energy centers is universal. Whether you look at the Chinese system of acupuncture, whether you look at the Jewish tree of life, or the Indian system of the chakras, you will find every system has that intelligence of stimulating the energy alchemy. So that is the second stage of a deep Ayam practice. Now, in some of the practices, we also use visualization like bringing down divine light or bringing down white light. This essentially serves two purposes. One, it provokes an energetic response of healing and detoxification and rejuvenation. The visualization of this also stimulates from us, using our prefrontal cortex, much more regulated state. Think of a prefrontal cortex as a stimulation engine. So whatever we simulate and visualize, physically it begins to manifest in our lives. Then the next step after this is where we have guided visualizations. Guided visualizations is a technique that is a cornerstone of cognitive psychology. It is also a cornerstone in the science of abundance, science of materialization, etc. Whatever we can simulate in our consciousness, it becomes as really manifested for us as if it was actually to happen. So we provoke specific sense of well-being, specific response from our physiology. Remember this, our mind, body and emotions exist in a continuum. Our body is not separate from the mind. Mind is not separate from the emotions. They arise together. Our experience arises together. So using the visualization, we are able to provoke specific emotions from within, whether they are related with forgiveness, whether they are related with self-healing, whether they are related with gratitude, whether they are related with letting go, or whether they are simply related with finding safety and emotional security within ourselves. It's a very important stage of meditation. Now, if you see how much happens in the Ayam practice, right to the third stage, we have put ourselves into a parasympathetic dominant state, which means we are ready to rejuvenate and recover. Then we have done the energy alchemy, which had produced the energy disposition for us to develop whatever positive emotions or qualities we want to nurture. Then visualization is allowing us to feel like it's real. It is happening to us, and we are able to have a greater sense of ownership. This also allows us to have a somatic reset, where a lot of stored emotions within our body, a lot of past traumas have the ability to release as we combine all of this with the breath. Finally, as the fourth stage, we have intentional affirmations that we undertake, which essentially bring to us not just a cognitive stimulation of accepting, moving forward, or accepting that reality and sealing that energy. It also builds a bridge to the world outside. See, one of the challenges in many meditations is till the time the eyes are closed, is beautiful. When eyes are open and life is coming at us with a point-blank range at the speed of light, it's very, very difficult to maintain that inner peace and tranquility that you've nurtured. So in the Ayam method, the last part of affirmation and the breathing combinations is about integrating that experience in a way that when we are able to open our eyes, we bring forth that experience into the world. So this really is the most basic form of ontology of advanced meditations. There are much more nuances because there are many different breathing combinations. There is just gentle breath, as I said, where we are bringing attention to the breath. Then there is also breath with hand positions. For example, in case of vitality breath, we use breathing combinations where we inhale and hold, exhale and hold. This is the ancient breatharian technique of pranayama. Sometimes we also use hand position of mudras like we use in the vitality, where we have the reverse dhyani mudra around our navel, where we are absorbing the energy and storing the chi and prana within our body. I don't have the time in this video to go through detailed steps of how each and every meditation is designed. But I will sum up by saying to you, the designing of a meditation is a science where it's like building a string of pearls. Every pearl adds its beauty, and they must be added in a sequence for a necklace to look wholesome. So, body and breath awareness is the first pearl that makes our parasympathetic system dominant and gives us that inner centeredness and the spaciousness to be able to meditate. When you combine it with advanced hand positions, that stimulates a specific type of energetic response within our body. Then focus on energy centers is the third pearl that creates the alchemy or that brings forth the qualities and virtues that we want. Visualizations and affirmations is the fifth pearl. And then there's the bridge of going forward into the world. So an Ayam meditation is really intentionally designed series of meditations. Look, I am very aware of the fact that many things in today's world pass for a meditation. I know some people believe reading a script with a very nice sensuous voice is a meditation. I've also heard of things like plant meditation and spirit meditation. I do not know enough about them, so I do not know if they work or not. But I do want to say to you that in my extensive study of the science of breath, of the science of energy healing, and the new cognitive neuroscience, the science of neurofeedback, the science of existential psychology and positive psychology, all of them oriented towards provoking a healing and rejuvenating response, it has been my conclusion that great meditations do not happen by accident. They need to be intentionally designed. And one of the purposes of our facilitator training program is really to ground you into the science of how to design and develop profoundly healing, profoundly moving, profoundly nurturing meditations. And then the art part is how do you embody them and how you deliver them. The art part of it is about bringing yourself as the one who's leading a meditation for a class or leading a meditation for your client as being someone who embodies it. You will only be able to provoke that experience with your people that you have the energy signature of within your sense of being. So in advanced meditations, if you intend to be trained as a meditation teacher, it is very important to do self-work. If you have experienced self-healing, you have been in touch with it, that energy archetype will be available in your practice to share it with others. If you have true gratitude within yourself as a personality, then people that are within your limbic tango, within your morphogenetic field or within your aura, will have the capacity to experience deep sense of gratitude. So I also want to say this today in this video is there is no shortcut to leading advanced meditations. It does begin with learning the techniques, which is the science, but also cultivating within yourself a embodied, lived experience. It's not possible for you to be stressed during the day, right before your class, and then lead a meditation for being stress-free. It is not possible to not have love and compassion activated in your heart. So one of the most important principles of Ayam method is you have to embody the practice. You cannot just say the practice. You can just talk about it. You have to be the example of what you are about to share with others. Well, this video has already become longer than I anticipated for it to do. The subject is fairly deep. And those of you who would come to our facilitator training and certification programs, we will go much more into the science of breath, into the science of somatic psychology, into the neuroscience of meditation, studying about the science of visualization and affirmations and how to combine them into your own meditations that you can design and lead. But for the moment, I will sign off this method of the ontology of advanced meditations.